Hello, gentle viewers. This is Abindian, welcoming you back to the Seattle Mariners and Out of the Park Baseball 20. Last season was a season of big strides forward, led by our wonderful new rookies, Alan Trammell, who had 6 WAR, a little bit, maybe not perfect offensively, but we know he's got better in him, and I'm fine with that. I'd like to see some of these triples turn into home runs, maybe. And Paul Molitor. And let's not forget Dave Edwards, who's proving to be a very solid pick as well. We got him as a supplemental round pick a couple of seasons ago. So this season's going to be about finding out if we can make up probably the 11-win gap to get ourselves in playoff contention. Now, if we look at how we did the previous seasons, we've already made a bigger jump than that. So this is going to be about upgrading where we need to upgrade. And there's a couple of very obvious spots that we need just more talent in. Basically, second base, catcher, and third base. And our owner, and I realize I've been paying attention to owner goals very much. As long as you're winning consistently, or at least trying to win, you will more often than not have problems with the owner. And he's a pretty tolerant guy, and he's very hands-off. So he's actually pretty happy with us, all things considered. He wants us to upgrade to third base. And I think the time to keep playing Roy Steiger has actually passed. So, we've got a couple of options here. And I think we're going to wait until after the draft to try to solve the third base problem. Salary arbitration. Sorensen is fine where he is. Atkinson, I mean, he's just not that good. I'm going to go ahead and non-tender him. I'd rather have the 55 grand. I would happily take either of these, but I have a feeling they might actually accept arbitration. McCormick has enough of a potential here that I'd like to keep him around at least another season. I'm going to trade Steiger. Because here's why. I don't want to pay him a raise. And he's pretty clearly proven that he's not worth it. He's pretty clearly proven that he cannot be trusted to provide positive offense. And his defense isn't good enough to make up for that. It just isn't. So I'm going to go ahead and flip him and see what we can get for him. I will look at veterans, because I will take on salary if it means a significant upgrade at some other position. I don't want Hal McRae. I'm kind of fine in the outfield. I don't want to really pay for Goose Gossage. I don't think he's worth it. Larry Dierker. Dierker is the first person here I would actually consider taking, because we are still badly suffering in terms of pitching. But he's a 33-year-old who's got 4 years left on his contract, and he's trending in the wrong direction. I would not object to taking him, but I think we can probably do better. Arvell Blanks is nothing special. Meh. Now, Rick Honeycutt is an interesting choice. Wasn't Rick Honeycutt a starter in real life? Yeah, he was definitely a starter. Like, he kind of reinvented himself toward the end of his career as a reliever. I kind of like the idea of taking Honeycutt. I kind of do. We're going to keep looking, though, But so far, he's number one. Paul Siebert, no. Barry Court, good reliever, very good reliever. Not worth it though. No. This is all pretty obviously people trying to drop dumps out. Ooh. Hello, Bob Nepper. He's another junk baller, and I know I've got loads of those. Right, okay, so he is maxed up as 49. He's never going to strike people out. He's going to need a good defense behind him. That's fine. How does he compare to Rick Honeycutt? Honeycutt's issue is his stamina. He's not super great at that. And so even though he's got the potential to maybe be a better overall pitcher, I just don't know that I can trust someone with this little stamina to be a good quality starting pitcher, especially in the 80s. So I think quickly, Knepper, or Knepper, I don't know how he pronounces his name, is at the top of the list. And I think we're just going to go ahead and take him. So the bare minimum, he goes to the back of the bullpen as a long reliever emergency starter, but he has a chance to actually be a decent starting pitcher. So let's go ahead and make the deal. Perfect. McCormick is interesting enough that I'll give him a modest raise. Turner is an interesting problem to have. There's nothing about him that screams all-star. There's also nothing about him that screams crap. What do our scouts think of him? He's very aggressive. A solid contributor. That's pretty much mine. His power's only come up recently. He's a good all-around outfielder. What would it take to get you to sign a bit of a longer-term deal? Can I buy out your first year of free agency if I add another 30 grand to the pot? Yes. That's fine. That's all I really wanted. I just want a little bit more cost certainty. I don't mind paying him 200 grand. Especially if we can just turn in another season like this one. And guys, there is some reason to believe, it's maybe not a very good reason, but there's some reason to believe that there might be a bit more to it than that. None of you are actually all that great, with the possible exception of keeping Nettles just for his defense, but this is fine. I'm not going to hog tie them just to keep them. If we don't get Rookie of the Year this year, I'm going to be quite upset. And Turner took the new deal. Awesome. Hey, good for Reggie Baldwin. He's not far off from being a potential plus offensive contributor as a catcher. I think he's definitely earned a promotion at AA. I think that's the next step in his career. Because he definitely deserves it. He's had 2 outstanding seasons in rookie ball. Bobby L. Brown had a pretty great season in AAA. He's a very solid off-brand outfielder that I wouldn't mind adding. But he's also got a ways to go a bit before I would trust him to be anything more than a pinch hitter or a platoon guy. So there's a lot to like about our system, and I think it could get just a little bit better. There we go. We got a Silver Slugger and a Gold Glove. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need to put you on the active roster, don't I? And then I'm immediately going to set you as a starting pitcher. I recognize it reduces his stuff a bit, but that's fine. Gudry, I'm going to trade you. You just don't offer any value right now. What am I looking at here? I would actually take Rick Honeycutt if he's still being offered. It looks like he's not, though. That's reasonable. I'm not going to take on a bunch of salary for a player that I don't think is going to help all that much. And I think that's our biggest issue right now. Can I look just at the rookies, just at the prospects, please? Here we go. I'm going to take Steve Burke. There's no downside to taking him, and there's lots of upside. Let's go ahead and make the flip. Boop. Okay. Was Dave Edwards that great as a right fielder? You know, he actually was. He's actually worth a win in the field. That's very handy, actually. And a Silver Slugger for Alan Trammell. Hopefully not his last. Nice. If one of my guys doesn't get Rookie of the Year, I'm going to be very upset. Are you kidding me? Who the hell got AL Rookie of the Year? Freaking Carney Lansford with his crap ass. Oh my god. What the hell? I realize my guy split the vote. He is not clearly better than Alan Trammell. He just isn't. Yeah, he led the league in runs. Big freaking whoop. Alan Trammell was worth at least more than a win than he was. Trammell was a better player. Trammell should have been Rookie of the Year. I'm salty. But you know what? It's going to bring us that much closer to greatness when we use this to fuel our future baseball endeavors. Alright. We're just going to go straight to free agent filings. McCormick and Sorensen both got what I told them they should take. And as predicted, both my players filed for free agency. I very much I was going to sign either one of them, if I'm honest with you. Larry Parrish is actually a terrible third baseman. Let's look at free agency. How much money do I have to spend? I have $3 million and some change. And what is my draft pick this year? That is the other key inquiry. I should know that already, right? I do not know that already. Then I'm not going to participate till I know what kind of pick I'm sacrificing to acquire another player. This isn't an outstanding draft. It looks like there is quite a bit of talent. I could go for some Fernando Mania if he lasts. But the thing is, I don't think my pick's going to be all that great. I'm picking 10th. So let's look more at the draft pool. Let's get a sense of what I'd be punting on if I traded for it. Like, a Mike Scioscia, no lie, would be pretty nice. I could maybe hope for a Wally Backman. But he's a couple years away, right? Luis Salazar would be a decent upgrade at third base. There's some good to great pitching prospects here. There's a man named Mookie. There's Tony Pena. Pena would actually be a nice little piece to our puzzle here. You know, I think there's enough talent in the draft, even if I don't pick early, that I should get good quality players. I'd love Joe Charbonneau, to be honest with you, as a DH or something. We do need more pop in the lineup. Yeah, I think there's honestly enough talent in this draft that even if I don't get one of the best players, I'll still get someone who's going to be really solid. So I'm actually going to go ahead and keep my draft pick, and I'm going to wait and sign people after the draft. Unless they have no compensation. Another piece of the bullpen isn't unheard of, but maybe not the market we're in right now. Joe Morgan's bat would be very welcome for this team. Joe Morgan's defense, not so much. His range is kind of gone, and he wants a lot of money. I don't know that this is a good fit for us. Meh. Oh no, oh that's the problem. Larry Parrish is actually kind of a terrible third baseman. But his bat is so good that it might make up for that. I'm going to wait, I think, on any of these additions. Because all of you are just terrible infielders. Parrish does fill a couple of needs, though. How's his performance been as a third baseman? It genuinely hasn't been that bad. Like, he's subpar. That's undisputed. But he's also super young, and he's got the athleticism that maybe it's not going to be the crippling thing that I think it is. And Larry Parrish does give us a middle-of-the-order bat who's got quite a bit of thump to him, which this fills a couple of holes quite efficiently. I would like to make an offer on Larry Parrish. He doesn't actually want that much money. Done. That's exactly the kind of deal we should be making. Short-term deals that don't block anyone important. That if they work out pretty well. So you want to go to the Yankees. I would pay up to $600,000 for him. But if the price goes above that, I don't think it's worth it. You would give me a mediocre second baseman and a mediocre pitcher for a player who's not terrible. My problem with Brohamer is that he's not a great hitter. And especially for a one-year rental, I kind of like just keeping Steve Braun. I like what he brings to the table. He's a really good table setter, and I want to make sure that we have him until we have someone who's better. Like, I get he's a terrible defensive player. I get that. But I do think he is a relatively solid choice. Which one are the freaking Red Sox offering you? Nope. I said $600,000 was my max, and he doesn't want to sign for it, so fuck him. Do we kick the tires on Joe Morgan? As a hitter, Joe Morgan is probably unparalleled on the market. I have to DH him if I take him. Look at how bad he was in the field. I would trade Steve Braun if Joe Morgan came to this team. I would rather pay a bit more for an elite hitter. Let's try it. I'm just kicking tires right now. I like going after guys like Joe Morgan because they don't cost me a draft pick. And I would happily trade Steve Braun if we end up picking up Joe Morgan, or even just keeping Steve Braun in the minors if we need to. Bob Friend. I did miss Willie Mays last time. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone important this time. Gotta love a good third baseman. They really are hard to come by. I think that's about it. I think those are the only two I'm going to cast a ballot for. I mean, Louis Aparicio wouldn't be terrible, except for the fact that his, I'll vote for him too. I like being in on a winner. Aparicio is pretty good. We're taking a legendary hitter on a down year, but it only looks like a down year because they stupidly had him play the field, which he can't do anymore. Joe, you've got to make an understanding here. You need to sign with an AL team. You cannot sign in the National League. All right. I'm not going to tease myself by what might have been. I'm just going to immediately say, draft up to me, please. All right. Wally Backman offers a potential solution at second base. He's raw, and I'm not going to start him this year if I do pick him, but at least offers hope for the future. Luis Salazar is a potential solution to the third base problem. His benefit is he's such a good contact hitter, he can probably start in the majors. That is pretty tempting. And there's a couple of other decent players, but they're all a bit farther down my list. Dave Stapleton would be amazing on a team that didn't have Paul Molitor. Oh, then there's Tony Pena. I could really use a good catcher. And here's the thing. If I don't take him in the first, I don't know that he makes it to me in the second. Whereas there's players like Tim Wallach later in the draft who I could grab to play third. But Salazar is so major league ready. Like, he's obviously got a ton of potential to be a much more well-rounded player, but he could start right now for any team in the league, and he's not going to embarrass himself at third. As much as I want Tony Pena, I think I'm going to take Salazar and then hope that Pena falls in the second round. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. But I'm going to jump on Pena if he's still around. He's not. Well, that was the risk. Mark Bruhard, maybe. Marty Bystrom is a big dude. I should expect him to put on a bit of weight and therefore put on some stuff on his fastball. I'm going to go ahead and draft Marty Bystrom with my second round pick. I think he's got the potential to be an excellent starting pitcher. Mark Davis, I'm not paying through the nose for you. Hey, Jeff Cox is a great defensive second baseman who can draw walks. That's perfect for this team. I will take it any day of the week. There are no good catchers left. The best is Stan Kleburn, just because he kind of hits for a bit of power. So we'll put in the moves on him. Rich Murray has a bit of pop, but that's about it. Craig Stemack? He's a reasonably good catcher. Yeah, let's take him. Ooh, I could take Ned Yost. He's going to be a good manager at some point in the future. You know what? I'll take Craig. I think I want to have a bunch of catchers until I find one that's truly outstanding. Beswick's got a bit of upside on him. The others don't, so I can go ahead and grab Beswick. And then the draft is finished. This was a good draft for one reason. I've got two starters, two potential day one starters already. And Bystrom has a chance to make an impact this season too. We do need a catcher. To the point where I'm going to check the free agent market once we're done here and see if I can grab someone for a year or two. Alright, so we've got a clear upgrade at third base. This is partially damning with faint praise, but, you know, it's reasonable. Because our old third baseman was so terrible. Cox is as major league ready as he's going to get. He really just needs to play outstanding defense and draw enough walks and make just enough contact that he can carry his glove. We'll have Joe Morgan, potentially. Let's go up to the Rule 5 draft. And Joe Morgan took the deal. So, we have a job to do. I need to find a buyer for Braun. Because I'm not going to let him play in left field when I have Turner. I'm not going to play him at third. And Morgan is my DH. In fact, let's make it sure that he knows that. Designated hitter, you're not going to be playing in the field. It's just not happening. Edwards, Thomas, Turner. I could just keep Braun and maybe platoon. Or even just have Braun as an excellent bat off the bench. That is potentially a thing we could do. Burke to AA, Sproul to AAA. What else? Mike. I need to see something this year. I need these to become reality before I can definitively call you up. I am going to put you in AAA this year. I'm going to give you a chance to earn your way onto the team. But I love Joe Morgan, by the way. I think this is a perfect addition to our team. And I think our offense is going to be that much better with him on it. Okay. Let's go to the Rule 5. Alright, Cleburne, you're going to go to single A. Salazar, my dude, you're right to the majors. Steamac, you can play in double A. Or we could... Oh, no. You sneaky little shits. I am not giving up Mike Scott. No. I love the idea of adding Buddy Bell. He would be a major coup. I'm not giving you Mike Scott. Let's just stop that argument immediately. I would give you Bobby Brown. And I would even throw in Steve Burke. No. Then, fuck you, Cleveland. I am not giving up Mike Scott. No. I don't have the kind of pitching machine where I can afford to not have him. Anyone who I need to put on the 40-man or lose. I mean, I feel pretty confident that Lemon Jello's going to sneak through. If I lose him, I lose him, but I don't think I will. Putman's not that good. Again, if I lose him, I lose him. Continue, please, and then until my next pick. Who'd I lose? Putman. Well, it is what it is. I'm not too fussed about it. I'm just gonna end this. I'm just gonna end because I just don't see a point. I mean, yeah, Ellie Rodriguez is a really great defender who can draw walks. There's value in that. It's only a roster spot. No, I'm just gonna try to grab. You know what? Let's do it. Let's take a catcher. I recognize now that he's basically a worse version of Borgman. Oops. Oh well. You know, if we end up with Borgman starting, I'm not upset about that. Because we'll have made big efforts to upgrade 2 other key positions. Go ahead and complete the draft. He's the only guy I wanted. Let's sim a week. And Larry Parrish went to Houston. That's fine, dude. Bystrom. There's really no reason to keep you in the minors other than that I don't want to put you in the majors just yet. But I think I'll even start you in AAA. Alright. What's left on the free agent market? A couple of reasonably good pitchers. You can only play shortstop, sadly. Old friend Chris Spire. Another potential DH which is just not something that we need. I wouldn't mind picking up Jim Lonberg, actually. I actually think he'd be a nice addition to the team. Especially if I could get him for cheap. Oh, you just don't want to be part of the Mariners. Well, fuck you, buddy. Christensen, not really. Pat Dobson, maybe. What do we have at catcher? Is there someone who represents a significant upgrade over our current players? Steve Yeager, maybe. Because Yeager is a good defensive catcher who's also got a bit of pop, which is better than we've got now. I could bring Milt May back. I could sign Joe Torre. I don't think Steve Yeager would be a bad call. Let's do it. I'll give you a 1-year deal. I'm at least going to look at second base, but I've got a feeling there's no one here that I'm going to sign. Yeah, it's not worth it. I need to upgrade second, third, and catcher, and I think we're going to upgrade all 3 positions this year. And we got a legendary level designated hitter who I'm extremely excited about. I don't know, Joe Morgan's not long for this league, and that's fine. Hey, maybe he can teach Jeff Cox how to play second base. I just don't see the point in keeping him in the minors when we need a second base upgrade right now. Promote. Al Kaline. I did not see him, guys. I think there's something going on where they're trying to hide people from me, so I can't vote for them. Whatever, dude. Preseason begins. Excellent. And let's put you on the active roster. And I'm just going to go ahead and let my my Rule 5 catcher go. Rodriguez is Borgman. There's except worse, so I'm just going to go and return him to Kansas City. This is a pretty saucy starting roster. I don't have a lot of depth. That is the downside. But the top flight level talent, I think, is there. There's a bit of decay here. Why? Oh, because you've got me on OSA. Please stop. I think center field. We could probably add one more outfielder, actually. If there is a really solid outfielder, we could have a chat with them and just see how much money they want. I mean, Greg Gross, I don't need another contact hitter. I need a power hitter. Nah, they're all around the same level, and I've still got my ace in the hole, which is Bobby Brown, who I could call up in an emergency. I feel good about this season. I would like maybe one more starting pitcher if we can get one for not too much money. Change your mind, Pat. You have not. Actually, you do want to pitch for me, but you're also super old. Bob Moose. It's not a real moose. It's true, you know. Jerry Royster is really desperate for a job. Like, 95 grand is incredibly cheap. And I can just have him ride the pine or serve as an elite level backup. I mean, he wants a 4-year deal, which isn't ideal. Get it? I would give you, like, a 2-year contract. I would not give you a 4-year deal. Just as someone to ride the pine or maybe pick up some third base duty if people don't work out the way they're meant to. Christensen is young, but he's also highly dependent on great defense to be a solid pitcher. Let's wait. I've found starting pitchers aren't hard to acquire during the season, as long as you're willing to take on salary, which we're going to be. I will happily jump all over that. You've raised my budget again. That's pretty spicy. Let's spend 500 grand on scouting now. Sorry, 500. And then player development, I would like to spend 550. There we go. Now, I don't think Super 2s existed at this point. So that's reasonable. We're going to have some words about what we do in the future with this team. Yeah, there's Trammell. There's Molitor. There's Edwards. Okay. Let's sum up to spring training, guys. Ah, and we did get Jerry Royster. I genuinely didn't think that would be a difficult sell for them. I'm going to immediately go ahead and put you on the active roster, and you're just going to be kind of a utility player. Because he's not starting over Salazar. That much I'll tell you for sure. Let's start a charity, Daryl. How's our team chemistry? Home team chemistry. We don't have a real captain. but we have everything else. So, I mean, it's fine. Spring training begins. Okay. I'm at least gonna let Mike Scott play pitch in the spring training. Sproul, Brown, Lemon Jello, Burke. I think that's it. I think that is sufficient. And then I'm going to go ahead and let my bench coach earn his salary. There we go. Why would you play Dower over Cox? Because Dower's got a little bit of ability to hit for contact. I'd almost rather play Royster at second. It's actually not a terrible idea now that I think about it. We'll see what happens in spring training. I don't want to promise jobs yet. Now remember, Texas ran away with the division last year, but that doesn't mean that we can't do it this year. Well, that's one contender down, but he might be back actually by opening day or pretty close to it, so I'm not going to take him off the roster just yet. Please sit him for a week. Game strategy. If it's at least moderate, you're going to demote him, or you're going to set him on the bench, because I do not want him injured. He's too important to our team. Personal message. Okay. Alright. Mike Scott is improving a little bit. He's still pretty much raw potential, though. I don't think he's ready for full-time Major League play. There's Knepper. There's Marty Bystrom. Dower's actually a little bit worse. Salazar's better, which is pretty crazy. Royster's not bad. Alright, that's all lovely. Could you kindly... Let's finish all the games, just to see if people get hurt. Right there. Remember, guys, as a pro tip, you do not want to go right to opening day because then people get a day of service time, which starts their clock early. If you're not sure you want to keep them there. Yeah, you should be ready to go by opening day. Baylor, go ahead and go to the DL. All right, how many pitchers do I have? I have 19 pitchers. I got Knepper to be a starter. Why do you keep making him a reliever? I mean, I guess he is a little bit better at that. But no. Mike Scott's going to AAA. I'm not going to hesitate. I need to see these two stats improve before I turn over the team to him. I just need him to develop a bit more. Anyone else are objectively bad? McCormick isn't great. Holly is nothing to be excited about. I'm going to go ahead and waive him, and if he gets traded, he gets traded. I'm not worried about that. Lemon Jello can go back to the minors. Knepper's going to be a starter. That's what I got him for. I have no one that can strike people out. That is problematic, at least at this point in their careers. Burke, I'm going to let season in the minors. Sproul seems ready to go now. Oh, there's also Sorensen who can be a starter. We'll figure it out. Let's let McLaughlin pitch in the minors. He did have quite a rough time of it with Toronto last year. How many pitchers do I have now? I have 13. I still got to get rid of one more. Chris. Done. I wasn't even paying attention. Bystrom made the roster just because I wasn't looking. But hey, that's fine. You made the roster. Congratulations. And then Sproul made the roster. Okay, I don't need 3 catchers, so goodbye Larry Johnson. Brown can go to the minors. Bosley can't play center. He just can't. At least not very well. What could I get if I traded Bosley? Let's just see what is on tap for him. And I'm only going to look for veterans. And just see what people are offering for a player of his caliber. Because Bosley's a weird player because he's just a bad fit for this team. And there's no bones about it. He's just not a good fit. There is Reggie Jackson. Oh, it's hard to get too excited about him. Jim Kern is good, but not great. Again, Dierker is good, but not great. Thurman Munson isn't that much better than what we've already got. Ditto for Sal Bando. I mean, 40-year-old Rico Cardi isn't the dumbest idea. Nelson Bryles has a bit to him. I don't know, there's just so much here that I'm looking at, and I'm like, yeah, this is not an impressive group. And I'm not going to trade him just to trade him. We really need a heavy strikeout pitcher. That's what we're lacking right now, is someone who can just punch people out. Literally, maybe. Hello, Tom Griffin. Aren't you miscast in the role of reliever? I mean, I'll ask for, like, a Mark Bruhard, but you're going to tell me to get bent. Yeah, you don't actually have anybody that I want, and I can't even trade for any of your players even if I did want them. I don't need another DH. Look, I would give up an awful lot to claim Mike Schmidt. Just for the lulz. Oh, game. Oh, game. No, I'm not giving you Paul Molitor just for Mike Schmidt. However tempting it might be. Steve Burke. Bobby Brown. What if I drop Tom Griffin? No, it'd basically have to be Molitor or Trammell. I mean, Mike Schmidt is stupidly good at baseball. Like, stupidly good. I don't think I'd give up Paul Molitor for him, though, just because I have such high expectations of Mr. Molitor. What if I offered you Jerry Royster? Can't really. None of you are moving the needle. What if I offered Mike Scott? And let's say I dropped Steve Burke. Oh, damn. What if I add Geisel but drop Scott? No. Oh my god. No, I can't do it. I cannot. As amazing as Mike Schmidt is, and he's extremely amazing, I just don't think it's a good move. I think it would bite us in the back quite quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and say no to that for now. I mean, Molitor is really young, and the rest of his skill set is so good that I think he's going to justify his pick. So you know what? No, I am not going to dispose of him. Oh, it's just a thought. For now, Bosley can go to the minors. Gotta send one more player down. I am gonna send down Cox. Because, right, if I put Royster at second, I can let Cox have a year in the minors to show what he can do. And try to get his plate discipline and his contact up. I think that's the right call. And I think it's Saluz with a very capable team. I still don't have... Oh, I do have a big power hitter. I've got Joe Morgan. Okay. Perfection. Right. Advance to opening day, if you would. I really do like Mike Schmidt, though. If I could have gotten him for cheaper... The thing is, I don't have a good young pitcher besides Mike Scott, so I can't... He wants me to pit around 500. I think we can manage that. Hey, Mike Scott's a number 2 prospect. That's still pretty sweet. All right, guys. Pitching staff. Let's get it built. All right. Our best starting pitcher is probably Kyson. So we're going to go Kyson. We're going to go Lynn McLaughlin. We're going to go Figueroa. Knepper. Bystrom. Geisel is closer. Pitching ratings. Here we go. Thormersgaard as setup. Sorensen as long relief emergency starter. Sproul, I want to be specialist middle reliever, and everyone else is going to pitch middle relief. Okay, staff is set up. Lineup. Please clear everything so that I can make an informed decision. Alright, position ratings. Based on contact. I said clear lineup. Please go away, lineup. Thank you. Alright. Molitor and Trammell are neck and neck for number 3, but I think we go ahead and let Molitor have the role again. Molitor's going to hit third. Joe Morgan actually is going to hit third, and Molitor will hit second. Let's just make this ridiculous, right? Let's stack all the quality at the very top of the lineup. No, Joe Morgan is a designated hitter. He will never play any other position Please stop calling him a second baseman. Please stop. There we go. And I realize this means we don't have a great power hitter to clean up for us. So probably Turner then Edwards. In some combination of the two. Royster plays second. Salazar plays third. Darrell Thomas plays shortstop or center field, and then Steve Yeager plays as catcher. Copy. And then generate depth chart, please. Look, if you want to give Dower some playing time, that's fine. Let's make it once a week. I'm not gonna fight you too hard on that. Once every 5 games, and then the rest of this is fine. I still think Royster's a better fit, though, even with Dower being the better second baseman. But yeah. There's a lot of potential in this lineup, my friends. We're still light on power. That is the one thing we don't have a lot of besides Joe Morgan. We're counting on him to basically hit 20 to 30 home runs this year. I think he can do it. But that's our biggest weakness right now, so we don't have power. We've got a lot of hitters that hit the ball really consistently. I could see a dozen players hitting for 10 or more homers. But I don't see anyone here hitting 30 or more with the possible exception of Joe Morgan. That's, I think, where we are right now. I think this is fine for right now. I don't want to push this. I want to give the team some time to grow. Let's dive in. Who the hell is Jeff Hawley? Oh, you. Alright, fine. That's unfortunate. How did you sprain your elbow, you stupid jerk? So now we have an interesting problem. I don't know how to fix this. I guess Dower slides into shortstop. I don't like it, but I think it's the only choice we've got. And Dower, I just need you to play just well enough to help the rest of the team get over the loss of Alan Trammell. I could bring Bob Baylor back, but frankly, he only plays defense. I'm going to send you to AAA. Come back soon, Alan. What are you offering me? Oscar Gamble for Steve Braun and Mike Scott. Again, I'm not willing to trade Mike Scott. I'll tell you what. How does this deal sound? I draw Mike Scott, but I offer you Edwards. The straight up, how does this in any way cripple our team? It really doesn't. I think this is perfect. We get a genuinely good defensive player. We get a great cleanup hitter, which we don't have yet. He is extremely expensive, but we can afford to carry that. I think this is a great deal. I will see if you will throw someone else in, but you probably won't. So I could con Dewey Evans out of you, could I? Let's see. No, it's fine. I'm willing to take Oscar Gamble just because he is what we need. Could you throw in a prospect for me, please and thank you? No. No. I could get Terry Felton, I guess. The problem is a lot of your prospects are not tradable. I'm just going to make this deal. I think this is the perfect piece to this club right now. Because Edwards is never going to be as good as Oscar Gamble. He's just not. And OSA thinks he's even worse than we do. I think he'd be a good player, but we're getting a great player. And this also creates a spot for another outfielder we could call Bosley back up. I think that's the right call. I think we just made our club significantly better in one fell swoop. That's going to just get crazy when we get Alan Trammell back. There you go. Please generate me a new depth chart. And then copy, paste, paste. That was very well leveraged. We took a strength and got better. That was just beautiful. Okay. What we're trying to do right now is mark time until we can get Alan Trammell back. It's not that I don't like Rich Dower. It's that we're significantly worse without Trammell at the top of the lineup. Oh, you gave Putman back. Okay, fine. You could have told me that. A personal... Oh my god, Trammell. Seriously? You are the worst right now. Guys, we just need to hang around the playoff picture. We can make a push. Thank you. Right. Hats off to Rich Dower, who's hitting well enough to justify the rest of it. And let's go and send Cox back to the minors to get playing time each and every day. All right. You're back in, Trammell, and oh, how we missed you. Not as much as we could have, though. I do appreciate Dower's service, but he's no Alan Trammell. And this could be very, very big for us. Can I get you to generate me a new depth chart, please? Thank you. And from you. Beautiful. Roche is actually having a nice little season for us. I'm quite impressed. Joe Morgan is not killing it. But he could be. This is just a weird I'm not making contact for some reason kind of season. Yeah, we're going to let him play a bit longer, but we might want to... Okay, what if we change things up? How would we do that? Who's hitting well this season? Trammell, Royster, Gamble, Salazar, Morgan, Molitor. What if Salazar bats leadoff? Trammell and Molitor both bump down. I think that's what we do. Alright, Trammell's going to bat leadoff. Then Trammell at second, Molitor at third. And Morgan bats toward the bottom of the lineup. Just to get him comfortable with his new role. I think this works very, very well. Just scoot everyone else down a bit. Perfection. A run streak, eh? Nice. 14 games with a run. Sweet. You'll be back in about 6 days. Okay, come on, Mike Scott. Show me Mike Scott. Please show me Mike Scott. He's losing stuff, but he's gaining control. Lemongello, my dudes, is trying. He surely is trying. Oh my god, why are you developing so slowly? Oh my gosh. You're probably unhappy because you probably want to be in the majors. Wait, roll on team. Why are you upset about that? Don't tell me you're doing something stupid, minor league manager. Pitching, please. And if I look at AAA. Really? Okay. That's fine. So how's the team looking right now? We've got the third best offense and one of the worst pitching staffs in the majors. And Bruce Kyson has taken a major step back. That's not great. We need to add pitching. There's a couple of ways to do it. One is to give Mike Scott the keys to the rotation and let him just pitch. There's also trade Bobby Brown for a very good starting pitcher. I was right about the lack of power, by the way. That's currently what's holding us back. Oh, we're actually third in home runs. Damn. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. For now, I could just swap Sorensen and Kyson. That's not a terrible idea. Yeah, you're walking people. You shouldn't be walking people. That is not your job. That's what we're going to do, actually. I'm going to make one easy switch and go... Boop. Long relief, emergency starter. Look, you're not getting enough pitching time. I'm going to make you middle relief with your specialist role being secondary. And I'm going to tell you to back off on Saucier. Use him a bit less often. My zinc Saucier. But yeah. We do need a pitcher or two. No one's voting for Trammell? Really? Really? Alright, jerk faces. Alright. Let's make a trade. I would like to check the trading block, please. Okay, LA wants to get rid of Ken Brett. The Yankees want to get rid of Rick Y. San Diego wants to get rid of Dave Friesleben. And then there's some mediocre pitchers toward the bottom. Ken Brett is clearly the best of the bunch. I really like a good strikeout pitcher, though. I think one of our problems is we have too many soft tossers that rely very heavily on... I mean, Mike Scott is that pitcher. We just need to let him have a chance to develop it. But he's got real good stamina, keeps it in the yard, which is very good. That's going to make our lives a bit easier. He's also very expensive as opposed to someone like Freisleben. He seems a good bit cheaper. And he's a Type A free agent, so he could get a first-round pick if we let him walk. What would I have to give you for Freisleben, San Diego? How does Bobby Brown sound? Wait, why isn't Bobby Brown a prospect? Oh, he might be hurt. That might be his deal. Steve Burke. Looks like it's not going to take much. I will happily offer you Brown instead. What if he's just not considered a prospect anymore? That could be it. It's like it's his age. Could I get a second starter out of you? I would murder someone for Dave Steeb. Don Robinson wouldn't be a bad choice. I don't think you'd give him to me, though, would you? You must be joking. I'd have to give you one of my better players. That's not worth it to me. How about Bob Ojeda? No, you can't trade him to me. That's true. I think this is worth it. Because it's like, look, worst case scenario, I've added a better starter. And Sorensen can go to AAA, I guess, for a bit. Because this is really about marking time until Mike Scott finally makes that push forward where he can pitch in the majors. That's a lot about this season. I've said marking time quite a bit this episode, but I don't think that makes it not true. Because you just need to hang around the playoff picture until we can get the extra couple of pieces and make a push. God damn it, really? You had to blow out your shoulder. I'm going to call Sorensen back up. I cannot, in good conscience, let Mike Scott start yet. I need him to prove that he can earn it. I need him to have a chance to fully develop so that he can start blowing people away when I do call him up. I think we're kind of screwed this season, guys. I don't think we're going to make it. I don't think we're going to make the playoffs. there's got to be a couple Seattle players. Joe Morgan made it at second base, but that hasn't played second base, so that's fine. There's Oscar Gamble. That's it? I think the fact that Paul Molitor doesn't hit home runs is going to cost him. And then Alan Trammell's missed a good chunk of the season. But we still got a couple of them. I'm not unhappy about that. I want to make this extremely clear. You'd better not be playing Joe Morgan at second base. He better be exclusively DHing at this point. Perfect. Gamble's been a nice little pickup for us. I approve. Yeah, see, I don't... Ooh, Trammell's taken a bit of a nosedive. He'll get there, though. Yeah, we need one more hitter, I think, that can just take us to the next level. Steve Yeager's quietly having a nice little season for us. Alright, Mikey. How's your scouting coming? Your stuff is just not getting there yet. Come on, dude. I need to see current stuff improve to into the 50s. I think that's the break-even point. When you can start striking people out that frequently, then I can start thinking about promoting you to the main roster. Personal message. He's really happy with Luis Salazar, which he should be. Alright, personnel. How do you get along with Mike Scott? Alright, here's what I'm going to do. Oh, crap. I never hired a pitching coach this year. Whoops. Promoted. And then... Let me see if I can find a good AAA pitching coach. Here we go. Let's get Zach Barons. And then everyone else gets a new deal. That could explain why people weren't developing. Ken Brett for Jerry Royster and the Zinc Saucier. I'm not giving you Royster. But I might offer something else. Dower, maybe? Like, the thing about Dower is he's a good middle infielder who can hit a little bit, but that's not enough to keep him. I don't suppose you'd throw anything else in, would you? Do you have any interesting prospects? I mean, there's Carl Pagel, but he can't hit, like, ever. You wouldn't give me Ed Lynch even if I asked for him, and I probably wouldn't. Steve Murrah isn't a terrible choice. Would you throw in Murrah? No. You know what? What if I just offered you Dower? Wow, okay. Done. And then this gets Sorensen out of the rotation. And I can go ahead and try to flip no, I actually want Kyson to stay in as a reliever, not Sorensen. Alright, I only want prospects and regulars, and I want... Yeah, let's just see what you can offer me. Dave Patterson could be a special relief pitcher, and so could Sandy here. Yeah, Patterson's got a ton of a future behind him. I also got like Rich Wortham, who I could just stick in AAA and let him develop for a bit. Frazier is whatever. I'm gonna grab Rick Honeycutt. I think he's just as good I think he's got Sorensen's skill set, and I think he's only a year or two away. Maybe. Maybe we look. We keep looking. Brimmerswall looks pretty solid. Scarberry looks pretty solid. I just like the idea of Rick Honeycutt for some reason, but I also understand that he might not be a perfect solution to the problem. Frazier can't start. Neither can Patterson or Whitehall. And neither can Holdsworth. Let's go and take Honeycutt. And let's have him be a starter in AAA and just see how he handles it. You'd never give me Leon Durham, would you? No, you'd have to be pretty dumb. Cool. Mr. Honeycutt, you're going to be a starting pitcher now. And I would like you to pitch in AAA. You can go to the 40-man, but you're going to pitch in AAA. Oh, you're out of option years. I didn't know that. Shit. Demote Sproul, please, and then promote Honeycutt. And then I'm gonna override your game strategy now, and I'm just gonna have you be a really common pitcher. I'm just gonna have you be a medium reliever a middle reliever that you use more often, and backup is a long reliever. I think that works. All right. Front office. We're getting a bit low on salary. Look, I don't know what to say as far as who we should be talking to for salary increases. But that's fine. And I got my new AAA pitching coach. Delightful. I don't really have a spot for an outfielder right now. I mean, Jerry Turner is not that special, I guess. I guess he could replace someone like Jerry Turner. But, yeah, that's not something I'm terribly concerned about. Let's just keep going. Why are you such a jerk, game? I'm not saying I wouldn't like Gary Matthews Sr. I'm saying I've nowhere to play him. And I kind of like Royster as a second baseman. I think he's done a very good job for us. He won't be this good forever, but he'll be solid. And solid is pretty acceptable, actually. What are you offering me? No. Please no. Okay, Friesleben and Jaeger would both like to come back. Let's talk Friesleben first. That's actually not that unrealistic. I mean, he is kind of an innings eater, but as we've seen, they're not that easy to come by. Can I shave a bit off the back end, the front end, if I give you a bit more on the back end? That works. And then Jaeger's having a pretty decent year for us. Would you be willing to come back for fairly cheap? You really just want a two more years at your current deal. I could live with that. Let's do it. Player development. Come on, Mike Scott. There we go. He's starting to put it together. His control's getting better. His stuff is almost there. I'm going to leave you in AAA the rest of the season. I think I've made that decision. I'm not going to play you this season, but I think I'm going to promote you next season. We got Jaeger back. Very good. Like, I know I'm overpaying for him, but I also don't know that I'm going to get a good player in the draft, especially since I'm playing around 500. It's going to be harder for me to make a move and get what I need in the draft. We're probably reaching that part of our careers in the game where it's going to make more sense to spend a first round pick on a top free agent than it will for a draft pick. Just because I'm not going to get a draft pick. Like, top 10 is fine. And we got a starter this year, which is pretty sexy. Another thing for y'all. And let's just go to the end of the regular season. And it's going to take him a bit of time to come back. That's fine. Great. I was very silly. Okay. Fine. Go ahead and replace... you know what? Let's just change the 6-man rotation for the rest of the season. Give people a bit of a break and let you get in a start or two. Actually, I don't think you'll get one start in, but that's alright. And player development. Oh, Darrell Thomas. He wanted to come back. I don't know that I want him back. Like, he's going to want a raise, and I don't think he's worth it. He's a pretty okay center fielder who's got a pretty okay bat, and that's about the nicest thing I can say about him. I think we'd be better off letting him walk and get a possible first-round pick than... Oh, beautiful. Mikey. You're starting to get it done. You still got a ways to go, but I think this has been a very instructive year in AAA for you. I'm very excited about your potential. Let's finish the season, please, and thank you. And hey, we finished at 500. We're not going to get a great pick, but that's not the end of the world. Whatever, dude. You just wanted to be a drama queen and be like, hey, look at me. I got injured the last day of the season. Like flipping people off or something. Hey, I got a 2020 player. I didn't know that. That's pretty neat. I really don't care that Jerry Turner had an accident. You know what? I don't care what you want. Sorry. Oh, who retired? Joe Morgan's gonna come back. Kyson and Royster both said no. Oh, my scouting director retired. Before I forget, let me go ahead and let's pursue a new scouting director. You're not great at international scouting, but you're great at everything else. So let's bring you in. Perfect. Let's look at the stats. What went well this year? Oscar Gamble was everything we wanted and more. He's going to drive this offense, and I'm really excited that we acquired him. I do know that he's going to cost us a lot, but I think if anyone's worth it, it's going to be him. Alan Trammell had a slight setback, mostly because of his injury, but he put on a lot more power, which is great. Paul Molitor really stepped up, and again, he got better across the board. Luis Salazar is going to probably get some Rookie of the Year notes. He's still not a great third baseman. He actually is a plus third baseman, huh? Thomas was fine. Yeager was really good. Morgan did very well as our DH. Royster and Turner were a bit disappointing. I think left field is now a place that we're going to want to upgrade. I don't think Turner's going to get it done anymore. And we might want to give the job to Cox. As for pitching, Ken Brett didn't pitch all that much for us, but he did pitch well when he did. We've basically got a bunch of soft tossing starters. A good rookie season from Bystrom, by the way. It could be better, obviously, but it could also be a good deal worse. Yeah, I think we need one or two really great pitchers and a new left fielder. And I think those three upgrades would really push us over the top. I don't care about losing Kyson. I care a little bit about losing Royster. But we also might get a really good pick for him. He'd be a type B free agent. Okay. But that's going to be it for this episode. We didn't make as big a strides as I wanted to. And I really think it's because we lost Trammell at the beginning of the season. I really genuinely do. I think a healthy Trammell all year, and we probably win 82 to 8, or we probably win about 85 games. There's still a long ways to go, but I think we're getting there. Until next time, though, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you